On a quiet evening, just as the sun was slowly disappearing behind the houses, a curious 12-year-old boy named Ryan was walking home from school. The streets were unusually silent that day, and a cool wind moved through the empty road. As Ryan passed the old abandoned house at the corner of Maple Street, something strange happened. From inside the dark building, he heard a whisper. At first it was so soft that he thought it was just the wind moving through the broken windows. But then the whisper came again, clearer this time, almost like someone was calling him. Ryan, open the door. Ryan stopped walking. His heart started beating faster. No more one had lived in that house for years. The neighbors said it was cursed and children were always told to stay away from it. Yet somehow, something inside knew his name. For a moment he thought about running home, but curiosity slowly pulled him closer to the old gate. Ryan had no more idea that the decision he was about to make would lead him into the most unbelievable adventure of his life. Ryan slowly pushed open the rusty gate, which made a long creaking sound that echoed in the quiet street. The garden was overgrown with tall grass and broken stones, as if nature had taken over the place. Every step he took felt heavier than the last, but the strange whisper seemed to guide him toward the front door. The wooden door of the house was slightly open, moving gently with the wind. Ryan carefully pushed it wider and stepped inside. The air inside was cold and dusty, and the faint smell of old wood filled the hallway. Broken furniture covered in dusty white sheets stood like silent statues in the dark room. Ryan's footsteps echoed softly as he moved forward. Suddenly, at the far end of the hallway, he noticed something glowing. It was a faint blue light flickering like a tiny star in the darkness. Ryan squinted his eyes, trying to understand what it was. The light slowly grew brighter, revealing the outline of a door he had never seen before. The glowing door stood silently against the wall, covered with strange patterns and symbols carved deep into the wood. The light surrounding it pulsed gently, almost as if the door itself was alive. Ryan walked closer, feeling both nervous and excited at the same time. His heart pounded in his chest as he reached out his hand. The moment his fingers touched the cold metal handle, the glowing symbols suddenly lit up brighter. The door slowly opened on its own with a soft humming sound. Ryan expected to see another room behind it, but instead he saw something impossible. Beyond the door was a completely different world. Bright light stretched across the horizon. Tall buildings reached high into the sky, and strange flying vehicles moved through the air like glowing birds. Ryan stood frozen in shock. Somehow, this mysterious door inside an abandoned house had opened a path to the future. After taking a deep breath, Ryan carefully stepped through the doorway. The moment his foot touched the ground on the other side, the air felt warmer and filled with distant sounds of machines and moving vehicles. He looked around in amazement. The city around him was unlike anything he had ever seen. Glass towers shimmered in the sunlight. Floating trains moved silently above the streets, and robots walked calmly beside humans as if it were completely normal. Giant digital screens displayed colorful images across buildings, while small drones zipped through the sky delivering packages. Ryan could hardly believe his eyes. Everything looked advanced, bright, and incredibly alive. It was clear that he was no more longer in his small town. Somehow, the glowing door had brought him many years into the future. As Ryan stood so trying to understand what was happening, a small floating robot slowly approached him. Its smooth silver body reflected the bright lights of the city, and its glowing blue eyes focused directly on him. Ryan instinctively stepped back in fear, unsure whether to run or stay still. The robot hovered quietly for a moment before speaking in a calm mechanical voice. "Welcome, Ryan." Hearing the robot say his name made Ryan's heart skip a beat. "How do you know my name?" Ryan asked nervously. The robot tilted its head slightly before replying, "Because you are expected." Ryan felt a chill run down his spine. Expected? How could anyone in the future know about him? The robot explained that the glowing door he had opened was a time gateway created many years in the future. Scientists had discovered a way to connect certain points in time using hidden portals. However, only certain people could activate the gateway, and Ryan was one of them. According to the robot, something important would happen in Ryan's future that could change the world. At first, Ryan thought it must be some kind of mistake. He was just an ordinary boy who liked school, video games, and drawing cartoons. There was nothing special about him. But the robot insisted that every important change in history begins with someone who believes they are ordinary. Curious and slightly overwhelmed, Ryan followed the robot through the futuristic city. As they moved along the glowing streets, Ryan noticed how peaceful everything seemed. Humans and robots worked together, helping each other with tasks and solving problems. There were gardens growing on top of skyscrapers and clean rivers flowing between buildings. The air felt fresh and the sky looked brighter than he had ever seen before. The robot explained that this future world had overcome many challenges by learning how to combine technology with human creativity. Artificial intelligence helped solve complex problems, but humans still guided the decisions with empathy and imagination. Ryan listened carefully, fascinated by everything he saw and heard. But suddenly he remembered something important. If this is the future, he asked, "Why did you bring me here?" The robot paused for a moment before answering. Because the future you are seeing is not guaranteed. It is only one possible future. The choices people make in the present will decide whether this world becomes reality. Ryan slowly began to understand. Perhaps he was not brought here by accident. Perhaps the door had chosen him to show what the future could become. After a while, the glowing doorway appeared again in the distance, shining softly like a beacon calling him back. The robot floated beside Ryan one last time. "Your time here is finished for now," it sighed gently. "But remember what you have seen today. The future is built by the decisions people make every day." Ryan nodded slowly, still trying to process everything that had happened. He stepped back through the glowing doorway and instantly found himself once again standing inside the dusty hallway of the abandoned house. The blue light slowly faded, and the mysterious door disappeared as if it had never existed. Ryan walked outside into the cool evening air. The street looked exactly the same as before, quiet and peaceful, but Ryan knew something inside him had changed forever. He had seen a glimpse of the future, and now he understood that even the smallest choices could shape the world in ways people never imagined. As he walked home under the fading sunset, one thought stayed in his mind. The future was not something waiting to happen. It was something people were creating every single day. Thanks for listening, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories.